Well, today's Baby Talk segment, we are talking with Dr. Bobbie Colbert, and of course, he always joins us with his expertise every first Tuesday of the month. Thanks for joining us.
No problem.
Absolutely. Okay, so my question is, I always, when the weather gets hot, cold, which is what we've been experiencing the last, several weeks, I've kind of been keeping BJ more inside, and I was wondering, is that really an issue, or is that kind of a myth that when the weather changes really often that causes sickness?
Well, Nicole, it's kind of an interesting question. Part of it is mythical,
okay,
but also indirectly, part of it, there may be some truth to it. Actually, what happens when the weather changes, many times we don't dress ourselves according to what the weather is.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we'll get exposed to cold weather.
Mm-hmm.
And children, when they get exposed to cold weather, it stresses their immune system. Mm-hmm. And so they're more susceptible to viruses that are more prevalent in the wintertime. And there are many viruses that are more prevalent in the wintertime as opposed to summertime, so they're more susceptible when their body's having to use its energy to adapt to the weather. So there indirectly it does have some significance, but directly, no, it's truly a myth.
Mm-hmm.
If you dress accordingly, you shouldn't be at higher risk for infection.
Okay, so that kind of goes into my next question with how to dress, because I was wondering when, as a baby, you bundle the baby up if they're in the cold, and you wrap them up and you take them in the house. At what point does that kind of change? Because BJ is 35 pounds, so I'm trying to cover him up and cover his head and everything. Make sure it's not gets too cold.
Well, here's the key. For most parents, we tell them that whatever is comfortable for you is comfortable for the baby.
Got it.
And so, however you're comfortable, that's how you should dress the baby.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like cold weather,
mm-hmm.
being exposed to cold weather, and neither does he. But he doesn't like to be overheated as well. So when you're inside, you dress the baby more lightly and make him more comfortable. So pretty much whatever is comfortable for the parent is comfortable for the child.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, is there an age as far as when you don't have to really worry about that anymore, as far as the kind of the hot and cold and the dressing of the weather?
Well, not really. As the child ages, he tolerates changes in temperature more better
mm-hmm.
because his immune system is better developed,
mm-hmm.
and he's not going to be stressed as much because he can't change his. If he's small, he can't change his clothing.
Yeah.
But as he gets older and he can dress himself according to his comfort level, then he'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then, my last little comment is that my husband's very hot-natured, and so is my baby. Mm-hmm. And so, I find that BJ will just kind of take his blanket and kick it off, whereas, I have like 2 blankets on me. And so it also maybe goes into also, I guess your body temperature as well.
Well, the body temperature for most people the ranges are pretty comparable.
Mm-hmm.
So, most of us, we get fever at about the same temperature. There are some people who have body temperatures slightly lower than others, but on the average, we tolerate about the same temperatures. So when the baby's kicking the covers off, you may want to check the ambient room temperature because it may be a little warm.
Good news. All right, we're going to toss over to Dana really quick for a final check of the weather.